What's up, cows? It's your favorite demon cow back at it again with another React, Andy. This time round, we have royalties here. I can't speak. I never could. I never have been able to. Oh well. About Soda Poppin'. I don't know anything about Soda Poppin'. I just know he is a famous streamer. I've heard his name whispered by like Tectone here and there. I know absolutely nothing else beyond that though. So, you know, let's just jump into it.
So recently there's been a trend I came across called the Mount Rushmore trend, which for those of you who are uneducated is based on the Mount Rushmore Historical Monument in Washington, USA.
Imagine you actually have to state that because people are genuinely that low IQ and have that short attention spans that they don't even remember this from basic history class.
And it represents the heads of 4 American presidents who are arguably the most important presidents in American history. But the trend involves choosing a specific category or form of media and creating your own Mount Rushmore with the 4 most impactful people involved in that thing you've chosen. Common examples are...
Oh yeah, this is kind of like refreshing my memory. I feel like I've seen this before. Although it was an extremely quick and short fad to my eyes because, well, I don't know, there really just... there was no funny to it, it was just like honoring. And memes die faster when the funny isn't lay funny.
This trend include the Mount Rushmore of Minecraft content creators, the Mount Rushmore of YouTubers, there's one for esports players, there's one for games, and there's probably one for VTubers or even gay adult film actors.
One day, someday, I will be on the Mount Rushmore for VTubers. I will be on at least 100 people's. I know it, because I'm hot shit.
In which Billy Harrington and
people just haven't realized it yet.
In it, or it's completely inaccurate, if you know, you know.
Hey buddy, I think you got the wrong door. The Leather Club's 2 blocks down.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, Leatherhead.
But there was one more version of this trend which was much more popular and started many debates, and that was the streamer Mount Rushmore. Even the CEO
the streamer Mount Rushmore. Oh!
Of Twitch himself, Dan Clancy, got involved in his...
Now I remember why. Now I remember this. Streamer Dan Clancy was involved. And a lot of people had something to say about it. I'm sure unlike his thing, he had like Hycenat and Pokimane. I'm pretty sure like the easiest picks ever, because you have most popular male streamer and then a woman, because this guy's a gooner. Imagine being like 50 or 60 years old and you still look for and are attracted to like 20-year-old women. It's so weird.
His version was somewhat accurate, but we all know if he was to answer honestly...
Like, it'd be one thing if he was just open about... I mean, he kind of is open about it. He's kind of open about it, but it's like an open secret. It's an open secret. But it's just... That's the only people he watches, which is what makes it kind of weird.
With him having the gooner reputation he does, all of the faces on his Mount Rushmore would have been people out of the Twitch hot tub or just chatting section. But the most obvious and common entries on that list...
Even royalty knows. Even our favorite hedgehog tuber knows.
Usually involved Kai Cenat, iShowSpeed, Ninja, and either XQC or someone like Trainwrecks.
Just because I had a dream of being pounded in the ass and I was aroused when I woke up doesn't make me gay.
Are you sure? Listen, man, it's okay if you're into pegging. You could just say that it was a woman too. You could just say that, you know, you wished it was a woman, and then, you know, they have that fixed. Only thing people would have to say now is that you're into pegging, but that's about it.
It was hot, okay? A big ass 6'5" werewolf-looking guy with huge muscles.
What? Oh, okay, and he specifies as a guy, and he says it's hot. All right, man.
Bear hugged me, and I was just facing into glass.
With some other variations including Joe Bart, Forsen, Jinxie, Asmongold, and...
Alright, I know Jinxie. I don't know those other 2 people, though. Of course, I know God.
Some other streamers. And this was mainly a debating topic because are you just putting these streamers on your list because you watch them and you're biased, or because they're popular, and did they really impact streaming?
Well, I mean, yeah, the whole point of it was to show your biases. I think, because it was your Mount Rushmore, not, like, what you think the Mount Rushmore is, unless you're clarifying. Unless it was just kind of, like, up to each person's shtick. Even then, though, you could judge somebody based upon who they put on for their Mount Rushmore.
That much. Yes, for a completely subjective trend, you had to provide a college thesis with multiple references in IEEE formatting.
Or, you know, it's just a trend that, you know, you think about for like maybe 4 minutes, and you either use like some quick Photoshop skills or you do it with AI. And yeah. Oh no, guys. Oh, I actually have this one person that the internet disagrees with on Mount Rushmore. That's terrible.
As to why these streamers are on your Mount Rushmore and what they did to impact streaming.
Rice come the architectural blueprint for clout structure. Aiden Ross, the catalyst of celebrity integration. Celebrity integration and platform dynamics.
Was obviously false. But then again, anyone that puts streamers like Rakai on their list immediately disqualifies themselves. I don't care what you say. However, with all that said, there are...
Yeah, there's no one above the age of like 18 that puts Rakai on any Mount Rushmore. At least not right now. Maybe in like 4 to 5 years we'll have those people, but we'll deal with that when we get there.
Two streamers in particular that I saw were included on many Rushmores, specifically by the old heads of the streaming space, and many would cite these two as the founding fathers of streaming. The first one commonly mentioned was the late streamer Rekful, who was described
I don't know who you are.
As a pioneer within the streaming space, primarily for being one of the first notable people just to stream for fun, with the purpose of entertaining people and being more personal with his audience. He was also known for popularizing things like donating directly to streamers and IRL content. And the other person mentioned along with Rekful is someone that was actually friends with Rekful, and that was Soda Poppin. Now Soda Poppin, like
also don't know who Soda Poppin is.
Rekful did somewhat change the streaming space. He wasn't put on many of these Rushmores for no reason. But the thing he was mainly known for was being a complete fucking idiot for nearly 2 decades.
But what makes you so special? Because I walked past your table 2 days ago, and there were like 40 people just staring at you.
Yeah.
They didn't look at your screen, they just looked at you.
I guess I'm so stupid. I make people feel like, oh, you know what? At least someone in the world is dumber than me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like everyone can just resonate with this guy because he looks like the average guy.
It's me.
Oh, you're that guy?
Yeah, I'm that guy.
You know what? All right, listen. At least he's asking for consent. W is Soda Poppin.
All right, and black man took my gold. So, all right, I'm broke. To be too honest,
I don't know, man. Those are just too good. Like, he has to be purposely humiliating himself. Because those are just too good.
I watched some anime.
There's no way you can be that stupid, because there's no way you can be that dumb and be that funny at the same time. You know what? Let's see the whole compilation first.
And I'm like, this is really hot. But sometimes I'm like, Chance, this isn't real.
Please tell the neighbors you may refer to you now if someone...
Get Soda a gay. When I say soda, you say gay.
See? But most of all, I love VR and their tight anime I haven't seen, touched.
Okay, no, so he's not a dumbass. He's actually just like, he actually just has some, he's funnier than Dave Chappelle. Let's just go with that.
Or talked to a girl in over 2 years.
He has genuine humor and genuine riz.
I bench press 5,000
Yeah,
pounds.
it's kind of good.
There it is, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I know, you're wet.
I'm gonna ask you to...
This is Soda Poppin or Chance Morris, someone that has been streaming since 2008, and it's honestly amazing.
I can't believe I have not heard of him before or seen him around before. That's crazy to me.
This guy still streams to this day.
Out of what bro showed me so far, that I don't get. I can perceive self-humiliation, but I can also perceive that he actually has a funny bone within him.
Considering the things he's said and done on his stream that still follow him around.
He put on a furry head
to this day, and the fact that everyone around him has been involved.
And I think it makes it better just because you can tell he's not the kind of guy that would. He has his photo for a photo shoot too. Dude, he's just like me, for real, for real.
Involved in countless controversies. And then there's also the fact he's dating a VTuber, which is fucking disgusting. But today we're going to...
All right, come on. You're a VTuber, man. You're a VTuber too. You can't be committing these atrocities against your own kind. Halo wouldn't like that.
Going over who Chance is, how he participated in the evolution of streaming, some of the drama, and how he got to where he is today. So Thomas Jefferson Chance Soda Poppin' Morris, before he was named the King Twink of Twitch, he had somewhat humble beginnings. He was born on February 15th, 1994 in Austin, Texas, USA, becoming the youngest of the family with 3 brothers and 2 sisters. Now,
Wait, what's wrong with his...
Texas,
Hold on.
USA, becoming the young...
What's wrong with his... Is that his... Oh, they're all photoshopped with the same face. That's what's wrong. Alright, it's pretty good. I like that.
Youngest of the family with 3 brothers and 2 sisters. Now, Chance basically grew up on the internet and around games, but there was one game that would change his life significantly when his dad brought it home around 2003.
World of Warcraft.
Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, which was for him
Nope,
and his older
no
brother.
kidding.
But Chance wasn't allowed to
Never
play that
mind.
game first, it was his older brother's turn. So in the meantime, he played the other game his father brought home, which him and his brother weren't originally interested in, and this was Warcraft 3. And even when it was his
Okay,
turn to play
Warcraft,
Wolfenstein,
I was
he
right
still
about
continued to play
Warcraft.
Warcraft. He was around 8 years old around this time, and he had just found his black tar heroin that he'd be hitting constantly for the years to come. When he was 10, the highly...
I don't know if I should thank God or not, but, you know, maybe I am. Maybe I should, so I'm going to thank God right now that I'm not into top-down strategy games, because those look like torture. Because it's almost like the exact same video game over and over again, but with a different coat of paint. I say that even though I've kind of only really played Halo Wars 1 and 2, and that's been like my top-down strategy games I've only ever played. I know Civilization's a bit different. They're all like different in their own like special ways, but I don't know. I think I'm pretty happy that I don't play those games at all because I enjoy the stories that other games provide with their mechanics.
anticipated World of
and
Warcraft
gameplay.
was set to be released in 2004, but Chance was already hooked on the game because his friend's dad had early access to it because he was a playtester. However, Chance could only play on the weekends because his parents wouldn't allow him to go over on weekdays to play it, but the authority of his parents apparently wasn't enough to stop his WoW addiction, because Chance would sneak out during weekdays and bike miles on his niece's pink bicycle with training wheels to his friend's house just so he could play the game.
I couldn't play WoW during the week, so I would ride my bike to his house, where his dad played World of Warcraft even. But it was embarrassing.
Man, I respect the dedication. Isn't that crazy though? This kid, he traveled miles on a pink bike and no one called the cops on him. Or his mother. Meanwhile today, people will call the cops because your kid is a mile away from your home. And, they're only 10, they're too young to be away from mommy and poppy. So now we gotta arrest you for neglect. And we're calling CPS now.
Because I had to ride my niece's bike when I was riding my bike there. And when I say my niece's bike, it was bad. It actually had training wheels on it, but I broke them off with a hammer. I didn't break them off. I bent them to the point where they weren't touching the ground. Here we go. It was very similar to
That's
this.
cruel. Your poor niece. That's so cruel.
Eventually, when he was in high school, he was able to play WoW on his own computer, but only after he convinced his mother to pay for the subscription, because she didn't trust online transactions, which is understandable. This was around the time when things like online payments were pretty new and untrusted.
My mom didn't trust anything online, but it's just the fact that you had to put in your credit card info. She didn't trust it.
Yeah, that's exactly why I didn't have... That's exactly why I didn't have, like, Steam. I didn't play any games on Steam. Why I didn't have a desktop. Also, my family's just like, you don't need a desktop. I can just get you this thing on a console. Even though it's just a worse version of the desktop that has a way, just 95% less utility. So then while I was, like, forced to cope with Xbox, I had to, like, deal and work with, like, the apps that were on the Xbox. Yeah.
agreed that she would take the risk of putting in her credit card info to pay for my $10 a month.
But also, to be fair though, when I did have a PC, when I did use my family's like laptop and even my father's work PC, I got viruses on the computers because back during early YouTube during like 2010 to 2015, and there was a time where if you clicked on videos on the side of YouTube. So quite literally, for instance, who else remember this? Who else remembers or heard or had it happen where you clicked on the videos right on the side here? you know, because you're like, oh, I was watching like Choga Color, I play Pikmin. I want to watch episode 36 because I finished 35. You click the video here, and apparently it would give you a virus sometimes. It just would. Who else remembers that? What a crazy era.
Month WoW subscription. In exchange, I have to give her $60 a month. How'd you have that? I did.
Oh yeah, and then you had the whole stupid meme of Bob was gonna fix YouTube. As a child, I was so clueless and I was so confused at who the hell Bob was and how he's gonna fix YouTube. Because Bob was just a stick guy that people posted in the comment section. What is he gonna do?
Chores. I had to clean the dance studio, like clean toilets. There's a dance studio, and all the girls were on their fucking periods all the time, so it's just fucking gross.
Chance would continue to play World of Warcraft throughout high school. He was a part of a guild and played almost daily.
I'm also kind of happy I'm not really into World of Warcraft, or I didn't get into World of Warcraft. Like, the worst MMO I got into was well, actually, you know what? That's probably worse. It's probably worse. I got into Black Desert Online. I think I have 1,000 hours on that, but I also have 1,000 hours on like Warframe, and I have like a 2,500 on Destiny 1 plus 2. I don't know. You know, when it comes to any like live service game that you play for a long period of time, I just, you know, they're all like Venom. You're all just like consuming water with like 0.05% of bleach in there when it comes to those kinds of games.
When he could. But one day in 2008, he saw one of his guildmates doing something
at least at one point
called live streaming. He was recording his World of Warcraft gameplay live for the rest of the guild to see. And
man, I remember when I was trying to get into live streaming, and I did not know anything about having an Elgato device, and I also didn't have any money, so I just used the Twitch app. And with the Twitch app, you can't read chat. So I literally had like a couple people come in every now and then to watch me, but you know, they quickly dipped because I wasn't talking to chat, and I wasn't really doing anything interesting anyway. I was just playing the game, and I want to interact with other people, but you know, I couldn't do that. Actually, you could do that, but until Xbox removed the stupid snapshot feature, and that was before I started streaming. Because they had like, what is it called? I think the snapshot, I don't remember what it was. I really don't remember what it was. Maybe the snapshot feature, maybe not. It was that whole thing when they first advertised where you could play a video game and you could also watch like a video at the exact same time. I kind of, you know, I did not use that Twitch app during that time where you could get like the actual utility from the Twitch app like that. I only used it near the end of its lifetime before they just delete it for some reason. And I would use it to like listen to music if I got bored of listening to specifically Trove's soundtrack.
The 15-year-old Chance saw
while
this and
fishing.
Thought he could also do that. But keep in mind, this was before YouTube was a big thing and way before live streaming was commonplace, down to the fact there was very few websites you could stream yourself just playing games. But Chance would start live streaming that same year on a website that no longer exists called Xfire. It's unclear if he went under the username Soda popping around
that sounds familiar.
this time, but that name would soon be the thing everyone knew him by. The origins of his name is also unknown. It ranges from someone in his stream telling him to add soda to his original name Poppin, to internet slang at the time, where soda poppin refers to taking a flaccid penis and inserting it into a 2-liter bottle of soda, waiting for it to get hard, and then pulling the bottle away, leading you to bust.
Oh.
You know what? Knowing Soda Poppin', that's probably the origins of that name. Regardless, from his first stream, Chance already had somewhat of an audience, because he was the only one on the website at the time streaming gameplay along with a face cam, and a lot of his guild members would also tune in whilst they were doing things like raids.
I swear, that's how all streamers first began, is that they were playing an MMO, and then they were like in a guild, and like they were homies with their guildmates, and then, you know, they tell their guildmates that they started streaming. Or the guildmates found out that they were streaming, and the guildmates would just watch them stream. See, I never had that because, well, there really wasn't MMOs on Xbox. There was Warframe at best. And that was about it. And then after a while, Black Desert Online finally came out. But even then, though, I don't know, man. You know, I think I was just antisocial. I did not get the streamer set up because I was just antisocial. I was just doing my own shit. And then if anybody wanted to hang out or like interrupt me while I was doing my own thing, it always pissed me off. I was so selfish. And So I had main character syndrome. That's really what it was. I was main character syndrome. I should have people join and hang out with me. But as soon as anybody wanted to hang out with me or have me do what they want to do, no, get out. No, I'm the main character. You have to do exactly what I want to do at all times.
Resulting in him apparently receiving over 100 active viewers on his first stream alone.
So I'm like,
What? Are WoW guilds really? Were WoW guilds early in the day really that big where you could get 100 viewers? Well, then again, though, the internet was also way smaller, and the amount of streamers that existed, as well as YouTubers, was probably like not even the 1% of what it is today. Actually, no, that's an overstatement. 1% is an overstatement. It's like more like 0.0001% of people that were on the internet did not stream or make YouTube videos or anything.
let's just live stream on Xfire. So I live streamed on there. It's like, woo! I was pretty good at World of Warcraft at the time, so I got a lot of viewers because of that, and no one else streamed, so they had no one else to watch. Plus, I was like the only one with the webcam, so like they had to come to me, right?
Also around this time, through World of Warcraft, he'd meet someone that would later become his lifelong friend. And that person was Nick Pollum, or as he's known on Twitch, NMP LOL, who would basically be
NMP, hey yo, isn't that the guy that was happy that a bunch of kids drowned in Texas because AI was taken over? I know that was supposed to be like a joke and everything, but you know, he didn't say it like a joke, and he did not say it like a joke twice in a row.
along for the ride as Soda got bigger and bigger.
Does NMPLOL live with Soda? You've been living with him since 2012.
10 years. We did the math. I owe him something like $172,000 in rent. Have not paid a dime, and I'm not going to.
Now, when I said Chance
It's kind of based, honestly. The balls to say that at a camera and post online is
grew up
based.
on the internet, I think it's more accurate to say he grew up streaming. He streamed all the way from when he was a teenager to a young adult from the age of 15 to 19, and what kept people coming back was 1, the gameplay, he was pretty good at PvP within WoW, and 2, unlike a lot of people that started streaming around that time, a majority of his streams he was just being himself, a goofy kid, which a lot of the time involved streaming at ungodly times on school nights and waking up his parents who weren't exactly happy his main hobby was streaming in the middle of the night.
Alright, it was just a joke. It's okay. You can go back to bed. What? I was just a joke.
Not funny.
Sorry. Yeah, what's up?
Not funny. Well, I gotta say, it is pretty funny though, because now you're in trouble, big boy.
Despite Soda Popping getting more and more
It's a
popular
joke!
around this time, he had to move platforms in 2012, as Xfire was quickly becoming obsolete compared to its
See, nowadays you can't even do simple jokes like that because everybody's too stressed out. And then they just take out all their anger and rage on you because, you stress them out even more, unreasonably so.
new rival, Twitch.tv, a platform that would soon become the
Damn, that's what Twitch's old logo used to look like? I kind of dig it. It's kind of fascinating that it didn't really change that much.
home of live streaming. With this, he actually managed to move a majority of his audience from Xfire over to Twitch, and he got even more viewers from the transition.
None. Oh my god, I'm at 1,000 viewers.
Soda was now a young adult, and a lot of people were watching him now. They were mainly there for his gameplay and personality combined, but some were also there to listen to his many embarrassing stories that he kept telling whilst live with no pressure whatsoever, which led to a number of his famous tales, like the bus story and the hot tub jet story.
The hot tub one time, I was just sitting there, the jet turned on its own and started going into my leg. I was like, what the fuck? So I went down and I started playing with this jet, and I was like, what if I put my penis in it, as a joke, just for fun, for lols.
I beg your pardon.
Come on. Who else hasn't thought of that? It feels good. It's just that simple. It feels good. I did the exact same thing, but with like my butt, dude. I would put the jet turns on when you're in like a hot tub or anything. Dude, the jets on your rump, on your cock, dude. It feels so good. It's just a fact. You have to do it.
But despite all of this success, Soda would need to make a
It's not that crazy. Try it. Try it,
choice
trust.
quite soon. He had just graduated high school and was now in college, undecided on what he wanted to study, whilst also frequently missing a lot of his classes, because he would much rather stream at that time than go to college, and it was taking
Plain boring crap, just commentary and slender at 1,000 viewers.
He was averaging thousands of viewers, people knew his name within the WoW community, and direct donations to streamers through things like PayPal was now a thing, leading him in one instance to get a total of 57k through multiple donations from a single chatter known as Amahai.
I'm done. I'm not gonna.
Hey yo. Hey yo, dude, that was back when people actually had money to play with. Back when people had money to play with and there wasn't like a billion amount of homies and consumerism to go through. Nowadays, you don't ever see that happening unless they're like a big boy streamer. This never happens, especially unless you're also a furry. Even though actually probably not. Even if you are a furry, it probably doesn't happen because people would be buying their own fur suits.
That's not what you're supposed to do with money. Why? I'm high.
This is also around the time he started mingling with other World of Warcraft streamers like Mitch Jones, Rekful, and his ex-girlfriend, Leah, who his stream absolutely despised. There was a lot of drama there, and this—
I like to believe I would be just like him, too, and I would be like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? You gave me 10 grand? Dude, I could buy 10,000 Hershey's bars with that money. I could eat one for like at least 20 years of my life with that. What are you doing if I had one a day? Like, thanks, but
a video of a musical rendition of how much his community hated her with over 1 million views on YouTube.
Leah's a hoe and soda is cut by Leah the hoe. Leah.
Bro, they even used the word cuck before it was a famous buzzword based.
He also had his own catchphrases that current day soda poppin' absolutely hates, like use the shovel chance.
You know, kill a restaurant. Use the shovel chance. I don't fucking have a shovel.
And who could forget his absolute favourite, Pia. However, even though he was making around 6 figures at the time from his stream, his parents didn't really see this as real money. They thought a lot of it was actually fake, and the only thing they did believe was that their son was constantly ditching college so he could play games and earn said fake money.
Hey, based, he actually skipped college, and it worked, and you know what? Current year, that definitely worked out super duper good for him.
So they presented him with a choice. Either he grinds college and gets his grades up, or he could continue to prioritize streaming, drop out of college, and they would basically kick him out the house. Now, Chance, being the successful streamer he was at the time, obviously chose to continue streaming, and he was now homeless. But not for long, as he would finally meet up with his online friend NMP LOL and move to Michigan to live with him, as Nick had also been thrown—
Back when you could actually trust people online. Nowadays, you always just gotta assume that someone's catfishing you, or there's even the possibility that they're gonna, like, sell your organs.
Out the house for almost the same reason. So now Chance was fully focusing on streaming, and he only continued to get bigger as the years went.
Or you know, you also have a woman that sexually assaults you, forces you to have a baby, and then she, well, forces you to pay child support for this baby that she forcibly had sex with you with.
Because while streaming World of Warcraft, he made content that not a lot of people were doing around that time. But the same content he was making then would later become commonplace. He was just doing it years before most. He did one of the first IRL streams from his car, ordering Taco Bell before there was even a Just Chatting or IRL section on Twitch, which also resulted in probably the first ever stream snipe IRL.
What? I have no idea. They want to talk to me?
I think so. He said a guy with a blue shirt.
Man, this was back when you could even do that, where you could actually take like a minute or two during your fast food job just to like talk with someone that you knew that was famous. Man, nowadays you get shit talked. You'd have your manager shout at you for like 10 minutes if you did that. Bro, Mr. Beast pulled up into a drive-thru and offered a woman a car. And the manager came up behind her like 30 seconds later, and then she gave him like a death stare, like she wanted to strangle him.
Hold on, are you serious? Someone wants to...
It's crazy how whether or not our hedgehog VTuber friend knows this, he's just giving us flashbacks of how good everything used to be, and now we have to deal with and remember that our current reality is ass.
Hello? Are you serious? You're on my stream.
He even did one of the first ever dog cam streams with his dogs Buddy and Kevin. Rest in peace, that good boy.
Oh my god, this stick is huge! Where'd you get this? I'm gonna show you guys this stick that Buddy was carrying around. It's so big. Buddy, it doesn't even fit. It doesn't even fit my
That is a big
However,
stick.
despite World of Warcraft arguably being the game that made him, in 2015 he was getting bored of it, and the game eventually wasn't going in a direction he liked, so...
Okay. Yeah, fair. I mean, that's just how games go in general. Me with Destiny. Me with, like... actually, no, not exactly with me with BDR. I just kind of got bored. And I also was just kind of getting butthurt that they kept releasing... Well, that PC got more updates.
He wanted to stream other games, but that posed a risk that even streamers to this day have to deal with. Because if you're a streamer that is known for playing a certain game and you stop streaming that game, a lot of the viewers who only watch you for playing that game are gonna tune out, leading to your viewer count significantly dropping. And
You see, I just don't care. I know a lot of people only watch me for Olympus Company. I was streaming nothing but Olympus Company for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months straight. And I switched to like anything now. I occasionally have like a third of those people come in. Like most of the time they don't even jump in. Sometimes they just do though. Oh well, what am I gonna do? Be upset about it? No, I'm just gonna continue to play a game if I enjoy it. Or without any of the Resident Evil games, I'm playing those because I'm gonna get rewarded from my daddy for it. Papa's gonna buy me a comic!
long term, if you keep doing this, it may possibly significantly affect your...
Although I can tell you that I'm not enjoying RE4. I think it's so mid. I'm not having a good time. I'm just going through the motions.
streaming career going forward. And the only way this ever works out...
Also, that's another thing too when it comes to any form of content creation, any kind of streaming. If people know you're not having fun, everyone can tell. Everyone can tell because there's always like a tonal shift. You're not like making the jokes you usually are. I don't know. For me, I always just talk about what's going on in the game because I have nothing else to talk about because my brain is so numb and so fried and so bored that I can't think of anything to correlate between what's happening in the game and reality. Not to mention, I'm just not having fun. I'm gonna be more talking like this. All right, guys, we gotta grab like the revolver. Oh shit, yo, we got the revolver. Nice. That's like and that's gonna be my excited voice. Like, yeah, there is that risk, but as long as whatever you're moving to, where you're having fun, whatever. Some of those people will come back. You'll still retain a good amount of people. Now, also, it's gonna depress you if you just play the exact same game for your entire life anyway.
Is if the viewer is there for them.
Because everyone gets tired of the exact same thing over and over again.
And their personality, not the gameplay. And fortunately for Chance, a lot of people were there just for him and how much of an idiot he was.
That was good. F for Nitro? That doesn't... I'm not gonna fall for that again. Run that guy over, bitch. No one drives better than me! Bah! So how do I want to get the ribcage out? What do I want to use?
He became one of the first variety streamers, and this even developed in...
He keeps calling him a doofus, but yet he's not showing any clips where this guy's actually acting like a buffoon. I'm just seeing like him. Well, then again, though, he did press F for Nitro and it failed. But everyone's also fallen for, hey, press Alt F4. It gives you actually something. It actually activates cheats in this video game. Everybody's fallen for that once. Heat in the moment, you also aren't going to like think about that too, and you might just do what Chad says anyway.
To a stream segment called Shit Show Saturday, where viewers would decide what games would be played.
Hey, Cube World, the game that had a decent alpha got a terrible beta, and even worse for release, and the developer has yet to ever update the game ever since. Even though he's claimed to for like the past 6 years.
On the stream, with a lot of them being games you'd probably refund after.
One day, I'm probably going to actually play this just to see how terrible it is, because I think the art style of Cube World is good. I think it's awesome, amazing. It's just, well, I've heard the game's bad.
For a few minutes.
God, that was scary. Oh, man. Dude, Cube World is a scary game. That was too loud. I don't like that.
By 2016, Chance was now averaging over 17,000 viewers. He was one of the big boys of Twitch. He was even being personally invited to events where he was the main attraction, and despite being much older, nothing much had changed. He was still the little degenerate idiot a lot of people loved.
Good riddance. Jesus. Let's play video games. Let's do this.
This is just comedy. I can't believe this is being called degeneracy. This is just a comedy. It's aged like wine as well.
He later created 2 of his more popular series, which was Mail Time, where viewers would send him gifts, which most times were just ridiculous items to say the least.
We gotta do it nice and slow. Don't be a glitter bomb. Don't be a glitter bomb. Slow. Breakfast. Oh my god, there's a
Glitter
spring.
bomb.
And there was also Sellout Sundays, where people could donate to play videos on his stream.
Holy. I want to have sex with my
Stop. Even one of my old videos from when I was a spam cell was played during Sellout Sunday. Good times. But from 2016 to 2019 was what some referred to as the golden era of live streaming. This is when live streaming in general was becoming more popular, and we saw a lot of new streamers like Tyler1, Mizkif, GreekGodX, and
Yeah, and this was also when the streamers that exist in the platform weren't a bunch of the hoes that constantly flaunted their body and constantly wanted to go over to their blue website.
XQC.
I think XQC is probably going to be one of your next big boys. I think he's awesome. I think he's going to do great, and I think he's really doing a good job with picking the right games to play.
Also, a lot of these new streamers started to swarm Austin, Texas, where Soda lived with NMP LOL and Milena, Nick's girlfriend at the time, in his new house, which created the so-called Austin streamer scene where other streamers would constantly collab and network with others, and later on he had a hand in creating the so-called Poggers community, which involved a lot of new and old popular streamers. Moving on to 2020, we
Still never understood what the Poggers community is. I've heard that name come up every now and then. I also know that there's like the Poggers drink that I used to be affiliated with, and I got like 0 sales because I never promoted it because I was just like, I don't really believe in the product.
is something that basically stunlocked the world for the next 2 years, which was the COVID pandemic, where people were forced to distance themselves from others and stay inside, and a lot of people still to this day think it permanently altered our brain chemistry, but it also resulted in the explosion of live streaming. More people were both watching and becoming streamers. It's also around the same time.
Yeah, it also just became more openly accessible. Also, you know, all the children that were watching these people, you know, were now getting access to be able to do it themselves. Quite literally me.
That Chance unknowingly once again changed the streaming game, because on an off day he had decided to play a certain game that had been out since 2018 and was basically dead, but because of him would soon be the game everyone was playing, with that game being Among Us.
That's a fun game.
Among Us.
This stupid game called Among Us. Like,
don't call it a stupid game. It's great.
Now, how do you play it? What do you do?
Yes, Sodapoppin was behind the Among Us craze. He was the first big streamer to play the game, which caused a chain reaction where many other streamers with varying size began to pick it up, resulting in it becoming one of the most viewed games on Twitch and YouTube of that time, and the game being catapulted back into relevance. Also around that time, he began to stream other games like VRChat, which not only eventually led him to meet his now VTuber girlfriend, but he also assisted in jump-starting the game again, even though a lot of people
I hope things work out for him, but man, you know how risky it is to actually have a girlfriend from VRChat. I swear, man, there are more women on there that are rotten and evil to the core than there are princesses. Like, I would say 7 out of 10 of them are evil rotten.
were already playing it, because, well, let's be honest, a lot of people were lonely during COVID.
You do it all like in one bite, all whole?
Yep, just a one big sword. Like that.
Oh my god.
Now, nobody even does funny noises anymore nowadays. Everyone has too much, like, embarrassment and shame. And no one wants to be clipped, which is so sad.
However, things would take a turn for the worse in July of 2020, when unfortunately the well-loved streamer Regful passed away at the age of 31. He was a World of Warcraft and streaming legend on top of someone Chance competed with in the early days and was pretty close with. A majority of the streamer community mourned his passing, and Chance took a week off from streaming and even posted a video on his YouTube commemorating the time they spent together, with the common sentiment being that when Chance makes it to the age of 60, he has to...
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about this now, because I remember seeing this video. I actually think Keemstar posted a video about it.
The promise he made with Regful.
Let's come back here someday when we're old. Okay. Don't forget. Really, though. Okay. When we're 64.
64.
Let's sit on this bench.
This bench.
Let me get a nice photo of the bench. Don't forget.
Soda would eventually return to streaming, taking part in things like Among Us games, World of Warcraft, and more VRChat. He even debuted his very own VTuber model, which he supposedly spent a lot of money on, only to use it like 5 times.
I mean, models back in the day, they were expensive, and they did not have... They were very, very bad. The rigging was very lackluster, but something like that, during, I don't know, 2020 times, dude, that was seen as like a $3,000 model.
Never saw it again. He also joined OTK around this time with many of the people he had...
I would consider $3,000 a lot of money. That's probably how much he spent. I mean, who knows? I don't know. He seems like a pretty humble guy, so I'm pretty sure he would also still consider like 3,000 a lot of money, even though he probably has like 10 million in his bank account at least.
But something had changed with Soda around 2021 to 2022, which, yeah, is obvious. He had been streaming for 10 plus years ever since he was a kid. Of course, he's going to change and mature a little bit. As many were saying around that time, it seemed like he cared a lot less and was a bit more grumpy than usual.
Soda did make me, but Soda became weird then. Soda's like weird these days. He's like anti-everything, like edgy Andy. I don't know what's gone to him, dude. He's like I hate everything, grumpy. Like, what is happening with him, man?
Chance was getting burnt out from streaming. He had at this point been streaming consistently for a decade, and he was just tired from streaming that long and dealing with some of the brain-dead people in his chat on the daily. And yes, he knew he was in a great position that many people would die for, and had always...
Yeah, but he also likely had more than enough money to just retire at this point and be fine. Even now, with like how terrible the economy is.
Spoke about how streamers
he could probably just retire at any moment and be fine.
Have it significantly easier than most jobs, but he felt like he was forcing himself to stream, which significantly...
Let's just say that streamers have it significantly easier in comparison to the average job. Especially if all they do is streaming. In which case, you have a significantly easier job in comparison to every single other one. Because the only thing you have to do is be entertained and be funny. Which is not difficult, because that's one of the things that men were designed to be attractive, is, to be funny, make people laugh. Yeah, it really ain't that deep.
He affected said streams, and he also didn't like the way Twitch was changing.
No, PO boxes and Sell Sundays, when I did them, was my chat was ruined, my view count was an all-time high, and I hated everything about it. Did I just get hit? No, I didn't. How big is this game on Twitch? I mean, truth be told, I don't think it really matters.
That's a cute background.
Because the just chatting section is so fucking big, and that's all that matters now on Twitch.
Vebe.
You can't actually grow as a streamer by playing.
Hey, he watches Vebe
games. You can just stay where you are permanently. So if I played this game, it would be purely not a business decision, but a personal decision to try it out. That sounds really stupid to do. So business-wise, Corpa, I should not play Monster Hunter. Instead, the smart move, I should react to videos and.
Oh no! And well, that's the thing though, is that once you start doing the thing that that's going to make you more money, if it's not as enjoyable to you, everyone's going to notice, and even less people are going to tune out. But you're going to commit to it because, like, well, this thing's going to give me more money anyway, so I have to commit, right? But then you got tunnel vision on, where you're still just like, well, everyone's telling me to do this. This is the right thing to do. But yeah, you're losing viewership, you're losing people, you're losing interest, you're losing passion in like the community that you fostered.
Just chatting. But if I were to just play whatever I want, what would that even be? For the king?
Damn. Alright, that's how you know he needs a break. Because if you are bored of playing video games, there's something wrong. Because there's a billion of them.
That's not good. I know. It's not good. This is bad for business. Dude, maybe I should get banned again. That's another play.
Chance would get banned on Twitch in April of 2022 for creating an in-game character that many thought was blackface and racist, but he later explained in a comment he was just trying to make it look like Mr. Potato Head, and when he realized what he was doing, he tried to move away from that, adding more things to it, which actually just made things worse. He'd get banned for 14 days, but after his ban ended, he still didn't come back. He actually began streaming a lot less in that year and the next compared to previous years, because it just didn't feel like it and preferred to...
Yeah, he probably had a 14-day vacation. It was just like, you know what, this is nice. I don't think I actually want to stream as much. Also, the blackface thing, I don't know, man. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't know whether or not to believe it, but I just do find it comedic that it happened at all.
To play games off stream, and it's not like he had to stream. He probably made enough money to live comfortably. He just once again was tired. It would later become normal for Soda to disappear from streaming out of nowhere for days, weeks, or even months.
I think I've heard that too.
And then he'd abruptly return, going back to streaming 8 to 12 hours daily, only to then probably disappear again.
I am back. Kind of. We'll see how long.
He also moved out of the house where he was staying with NMP LOL, ending their 10 plus years of living together, where Nick did not have to pay a single dime in rent, and Soda could also be seen taking part in OTK events, even when he was taking breaks at times. However, Chance wasn't the...
Well, yeah, because that's like a different thing, because you don't have the pressure of like streaming and having to reach out and be entertaining to a audience that you don't even know the faces or names of, or even their personalities a little bit. Whereas, you know, in-person events, they're in-person events, you have the whole shebang. Humans are social creatures. We are designed to have human interaction, not just interact with other people through screens by itself. At least most of us. I think I would be a part of the few that could be okay with that. Maybe one day. I dream.
Only one changing. As said, streaming in general was evolving. There were new personalities, new metas, viewbotting became a big problem, and
new metas, aka clip farming, doing dumb shit purposely just that way you could go viral on Twitter. Also just committing constant traffic loss.
there was a lot more drama, which could also be used to get more views, leading to things like
drama, aka just being political, and then, you know, the political opinion that Twitch sides with says, what's it called? Basically, Twitch being like, hello, yes, Hassan Piker have a correct political opinion. Everything he says is fine. Asmongodd, you said people enforce borders? Yeah, a 14-week ban. 14-day ban.
clip farming and other things which Soda just wasn't used to as an older streamer. And somehow this led to a
well, of course, he also just wouldn't want to do because that's fake. That's not what he did. He was just himself, and he didn't want to be fake. And then have people just constantly call you out that you're like faking shit just to go viral would probably be incredibly annoying.
conflict with the newer streamers that Soda didn't even know he was involved in.
Half these big streamers are fake. They are faking their views.
So what's the deal with you and Ron going at it? What's going on with that?
Keep going after
how do you not? First off, how do you not know where Ron came? Stable Ronaldo.
I'm going after Stable Ronaldo. Labs back at Soda Poppin' for questioning how he and Jason the Ween became popular, bro.
And speaking of drama, within this time period, almost everyone around.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I kind of feel. Well, you know what? Never mind. You know, I feel it. I will hold that thought because I've been proven so many times wrong before. Yes.
Soda was involved in drama.
So my opinion
scene or
is stupid. Well, my statement would be stupid.
There was the Miskiff allegations.
My opinion would be invalid.
Messy divorce. Greek Godex had his own thing, and
NMP had a divorce.
Half of OTK left or were caught up in some serious allegations. There was the Lakari situation.
Why you got Asmongodd
Half of
blacked
OTK
out?
left.
Because Asmongodd left. That's why.
Or were caught up in some serious allegations. There was the Lakari situation. There was the pirate software drama, which originated in Chance's fucking World of Warcraft guild and was the first dominant.
Yeah, now I don't know. Well, the internet's always just been filled with drama, but now there's a lot of drama for specifically large streamers. Where, I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's just people, you know, getting fed up with their behavior, and then they finally have the moment where a lot of people can call them out and bitch out on them properly.
In his later downfall. It just seemed like everybody except Soda was finding themselves in drama. Yes, the guy who usually said what was on his mind and was a self-admitted degenerate was finding himself in less drama than the people around him. And if he was in drama, it was usually the most nothing-bagger thing that would blow over in a day. Like when he stopped streaming RuneScape or because he complained about the way streaming was in the current day. And the lack of drama surrounding Soda is probably because of the way he is. When he streams, he usually isn't putting on an act or playing a character or even pushing his content in order to raise his view count. He keeps to himself, is just himself, and is probably one of the most honest streamers on Twitch to this day.
Yeah, you know, too bad I didn't watch this guy before. Because he would have been like a good role model. Because I should have followed his stead. I probably would have been successful. A lot more successful than I currently am now, had I actually followed his stead. Instead, though, I tried to be a social butterfly. Where'd that get me? Nowhere!
Which, yes, throughout the years has led him to admitting a few things he probably shouldn't, under zero pressure.
Yeah, the thing about the fly is you gotta warm it up in the sink. Yeah. And that's a pain in the ass. You don't have to. I know, you can do it cold, but that's a little weird. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, it's not the cleanup, dude. You know, I've never used one of these. Take a banana, all right, cut off about a third of it,
Right.
or depending on your size,
Right.
and then you squeeze out all of the mushy. You just need the peel, only the peel.
Really?
right?
I've done this before.
Microwave it.
Really? Wow.
Microwave it! The things that people do for horny. While horny.
But that is why a lot of people watched and still watch him to this day when he chooses to stream. Some of his viewers have even been around since 2013. He's grown up streaming and never really hard pivoted or attempted to be anyone else. He's always been Soda Poppin'. But anyway, cheesiness to the side, Soda nowadays streams whenever he feels like it, playing random games, which for the most part it looks like he enjoys playing. He's been doing more IRL content. Recently he showed off his new house with his 3 dogs, 2 cats, and VTuber girlfriend.
Hell
and he's still
yeah.
friends with many
Hell
of the people
yeah.
he came up with, seeing them regularly.
Hell yeah.
If it wasn't for Soda popping and coming across one of his sellout Sundays in 2018 when I was a spam cell, I probably wouldn't be as into watching streamers as I am now, and I probably wouldn't have found other streamers to watch through him.
So, basically, the video was clickbait. I don't know, man. It doesn't seem like this guy's that much of a degen. Well, you know, the banana clip, that was like the most sussy thing, but I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more. I think nowadays there is a lot more women that are far more degenerate in comparison to him. Just anybody with like a blue Twitch is an example. But well, I enjoyed. Thank you. You know, I hope you all enjoyed watching Roties here, our favorite hedgehog VTuber. If you enjoyed his video, and the link is in the description, you can like, comment, subscribe there. You should be sure to like, comment, subscribe here. I'll see you Vamcows next time I feast upon my next victim. Well, Vermire does. Bye.